I'd like to talk a little bit about why I started playing the double bass, and of course thus became a member of this magnificent orchestra and called this stage my home, but also maybe to encourage others to pick up the double bass. After all, the world needs more bass players. Well, I started playing the violin at the age of 4, and at the age of 14, on the suggestion of my violin teacher, I changed to the bass. Now, the reason for this is because I had a spectacular lack of talent for the violin and was making very little progress. And this was a magnificent moment in my life for 2 reasons. Firstly, as a 14-year-old boy, I wasn't having a great deal of success with the ladies, and I could see a way of changing this by transforming myself from a duff violinist to a super cool jazz bass player, you see. And I'm very glad to report that it worked. My plan worked. I mean, after all, the ladies just love the low notes. Isn't that right, sweetheart? Okay. That's the bit where you say yes, just as we rehearsed. Very good. Excellent. And, but second of all, the thing is about playing the bass is that when I picked up the bass for the first time, I was instantly in love. I had found my thing, I'd found my gift, if you like, and this instrument was the very first double bass that I ever played. It belonged to the school before I stole it, bought it. I bought it, and I can remember picking it up for the first time, and I just loved everything about it. I loved the shape, I loved the size, I loved how it felt in my hands, and of course I loved the sound. And I knew at that point on that I was going to spend the rest of my days playing the double bass. Little did I realize that I'd actually be able to make a living out of it. I mean, it's not a great living, but it's a great way to earn it. And within a couple of days of me picking up the bass, a couple of guys in my class said, hey, why don't we play some jazz? Thank you. And that was jazz, by the way. I haven't got a thing to show you. And but I kind of wanted to be taken seriously as a classical musician, so it kind of made sense to learn how to use the bow. And when I sat down with the bass for the first time, unlike most other musical instruments, a large amount of the instrument is touching your body. So when you do this, it is extremely pleasant. And so, really, there's no time. And the other great thing is that you can do some fantastic impressions on the bass. You can do the Grand Prix. You can do seagulls. And of course, the mousetrap. And so, but one of the greatest things about playing the bass, of course, is that it's incredibly versatile. It's used in all sorts of different music, of course, in jazz and pop and rock. But in a classical music setting, it's actually really quite an important instrument. In an orchestra, it is the foundation, it's the fundament of orchestral music. And although it looks like we're sat at the back of the orchestra just doing this, but with a kind of expression, it's not actually true. We are actually in control. If you imagine a building without a firm foundation, it will eventually fall down. And orchestral music is very much the same. And let me tell you, it is tremendous fun if all 8 of us in the bass group decide to just slow things down a little. Like that. And the rest of the orchestra will follow us because that's what they're trained to do. And there is simply nothing that the conductor can do about it. And that's great. And so I can inform you that playing the bass is the best amount of fun that you can have with your clothes on. And playing the bass without your clothes on is uncomfortable. It chafes. And but if I'm really well behaved, I occasionally get to play a tune, and that's what we'd like to play for you now. Tomorrow, the Borika and I and the rest of the orchestra go on tour for 4 weeks, and we go to St. Petersburg tomorrow morning and to finish off the final leg of our 125th year anniversary tour. And we would like, in honor of that, to play a piece by the Russian composer Serge Koussevitsky. This is Valse Miniature. Thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch.